Alrighty, where is it playing? Oh my God, it's on my phone. Hello, y'all. So here we are live, the Bad Filipino podcast. Look, it's on my phone. I had to get rid of that. So we are here, special edition, because I've got a co-host this time, a longtime friend, first person I ever came out to, Matt, aka Anaconda. We're going to co-host this thing because we're going to be reviewing the Netflix sensation, Jupiter's Legacy, and AIZA is in Jupiter's Legacy. So welcome both of y'all to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
And so Anna, you're all the way from Oregon.
Yes.
And AIZA, are you in Toronto, Canada? Are you in Toronto?
I am. I'm based in Toronto, but I'm a Montreal girl all the way. Born and raised. I've only been in Toronto for 2 years. So, it's a good blend of both.
Is it? Okay. So I've never been. So what's the difference between Montreal and Toronto?
Oh, so many differences. Literally, the grass is greener in Montreal. I have to say it in terms of like literal grass. The grass is fluffier. You want to sit anywhere. We complain about that all the time. We're like, oh my God, where's the fluffy grass I could just lay on? That's one of the differences. Very random, but you might have not known that. And aside from that, I think the culture is just in Toronto, things are a lot more go, 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 get that money, like get it done. And in Montreal, it's like, let's just go and chill and listen to some music and smoke a joint on the mountain. Like it's very European and chill like that.
Well, that was the most, I probably don't even have to go now. I already know what it's like.
You would love it, I swear. In the summer,
you think
though.
so?
Don't go in the winter. Okay. Not worth it.
Well, I'm working on getting my passport so that I can.
Yeah.
Because you know who else is up? There's the Command sisters. They're my Canadian sisters, and they're actually sisters. And so I'm like, yeah, I have folks. I just come up and y'all just show me around.
Yes, they're great. I miss them.
I do too. I miss everybody, right? Because we missed NAMM. Didn't happen.
I know.
So we didn't have our musical reunion. So we're crossing fingers next January, right?
Yeah, let's hope so.
Let's hope so. And so, Matt, what's the weather like in Oregon right now?
Today, in the valley, it's in the upper 80s, so people are melting. Here on the coast, we are like maybe 62.
Oh, nice. It's like difference between Sacramento and San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it's like.
Because I think it got to 86 today. Which is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, for 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks of May, it was like 94. We just don't like having springs here in Sacramento. We just go winter, summer.
Exactly.
I just want to say I have no idea what those numbers mean because we don't work in Fahrenheit.
Celsius. Gosh.
So I'm like 94. Isn't that great?
I don't even know. I'm just gonna have to look this up because I'm a traditional. I don't even want to say American, but from the U.S. I don't even bother knowing what those are.
You don't need to.
Sure, I do. So I can tell you what it is.
Oh.
What is 94 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius? Okay, so that's 34.
Whoa. I mean, that's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you guys meant. Because to me, when I complain about the weather, it's because it's cold.
Right. Well, so you were saying it was like 80 something, which would be 30 Celsius versus on the coast, it's about 18 and a half, 18.3.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So, and that's what it's like over here. That's the difference. See, I need to memorize those. What is the difference? It's like 30, 50. It's 50. I don't even know how to do that math. Product of the California public school system. That's right.
Hey, Texas public school system, so I know even less. So.
Right. Honestly, we have the worst. We just have the worst all across the board for public school system. We do not invest in our children.
Damn.
It's like you have to pay if you want quality education. You've got to pay for private schooling here. That's what I don't know. In Canada, is it better there?
Honestly, I had a great experience in public school. We had an amazing music program. We did musicals every year. We traveled. Like it was amazing. I didn't even know about. I knew private schools existed, but I never thought like, oh my God, I wish I was at a private school.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know. But I'm sure that I'm sure that, people are paying for some perks that we didn't get as well.
Yeah, but the thing is you didn't have to. Like, you've got that wonderful universal health care.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
It would be, you know what we learned, honestly, when COVID hit, did we not, Matt? We learned hardcore how great it would have been to have had universal health care.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Y'all were taken care of, not like us.
We were. I know.
You were. It was wonderful. I was so great. You in New Zealand, y'all were like, yep, let's give our people tons of money and let them stay home. And here's all their health care. I'm like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
Absolutely. My wish is that it changes for you guys. Like, this is ridiculous now. 2021, universal healthcare. Let's go.
Let's go. If anything, that should have shown enough people why we should at least give that a try one time. How many years has it been? Like hundreds. Can we try? So let's just try something different. So we're going to start off, Matt, AKA Anaconda. Give us a little background on your expertise when it comes to horror films and DC and Marvel.
Okay.
When did you start? When was your love? When did you start loving that?
Okay. Well, with comic books, it started when I saw the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve. So I was originally a DC boy who, like, later in his teen years, like, was exposed to the X-Men, things like that. So I got into Marvel that way. And then I started going for all kinds of independent comics, like Dark Horse, stuff like that. So it's been like an ongoing love. And then now that we have a whole cinematic universe for comic books, it just like blows my mind, because never in a million years would I think that my favorite comic book characters, much less like independent comics like Jupiter's Legacy, actually has like this kind of medium, like, and it blows my geek boy mind. I'm just constantly in awe. So
you loved it, didn't you?
I binge watched it in a day. So
I binged it in 2.
Yeah.
I would have done a whole day, but I didn't have the bandwidth. It had so much going on.
You know what? 2 days isn't so bad.
Right?
It's not.
I think you got it.
Because you said 4 episodes, but that's what, halfway through, isn't it only like 9 or 10?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I am in the show. There's like a weird thing that actors have with watching their own work. And I guess for me, it's like, I watched the 4 episodes and I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a little break and I'll get back to it. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts about it as well. Yeah.
So then, so it's so cute. You only saw the 4, but I guess I can see why it would be hard to watch your own work, especially because you're so immersed in it. Mm-hmm. There's so much that happens to make that exist. It's like weeks and months prior, you probably were cast maybe a year before shooting even began. Like it's such an arduous process that by the time it shows up, you're like, just tell me what you think. I don't have the bandwidth to watch the thing I was just involved in for 18 months.
You literally described like 90% of my acting career experience. That's basically what it is.
So then how did you land the role?
Yeah. So I happened to be filming for this French series in Montreal at the time, and my agent sent me the breakdown for this character, Sierra Ectoplex, and I was at my friend's place and I help, actors, we get together, we just help each other out with self-tapes. Sometimes it takes all day. Everyone has a tape to do and we just work together on it. And I happened to have that tape to do, didn't think about it too much. Sometimes when you prepare for a tape, it takes hours, but for this, there was like a natural connection with the character and it took like half an hour. It was just like, okay. Banging out the scene, and then I sent it and I forgot about it because that is what you do.
Yeah.
Or else you go crazy, So I forgot about it. And then something like 2 weeks later, I got the call we all wish to get, It was like, AIZA, you booked it. I was like, what? But at the time, it's like I knew it was a big show, but I didn't understand what I had just landed. It's only when they started calling me for fittings for the super suit, they were like, okay, so when are you free to fly to LA? I was like, fly to LA, like. I was
like, you know, I'm in Canada, right?
Yeah, they were like, no, there was so much prep that went into getting the character on point. We had to get scanned in 360 3D cameras. After seeing that first image, I was like, I am hitting the gym. Like, it was a whole, you know, like, there's nothing like seeing yourself in a just full blown camera setting. You're like, I see where I need to work and tighten and, you know, practice and get ready for the role. And, you know, after that, it was a little bit of waiting. I did a lot of flying back and forth, like maybe 5 times in LA. Yeah, it's crazy. I think by the 4th flight, I was like this bougie brat. I was like, oh my God, like I'm on the Hollywood Boulevard, like again, you know, like it's so ridiculous.
You're 3 hours ahead. So that's even the time changes. That's gotta be just exhausted.
But it was, I mean, still the dream. It's exciting, you know?
Yes.
And what was cool is that at the same time, I linked up with songwriters over there. So, you know, for the few days that I was in LA for fittings, I would do some writing with other musicians. So it was a very exciting time. And after that, it was time to train. You know, there's that huge hilltop scene at the beginning of the series, right?
Yes.
And that took weeks of preparation. And, you know, the leads, they had been in the gym for like a month before I even showed up. And and then, you know, all the different actors, it's like this big choreography. So we had to, first of all, learn the moves and find a way to, like, how can I say this? Because we had our stunt doubles at the same time, right?
Right.
So the stunt doubles need to learn the choreography. You need to learn the choreography. You need to know when to step out so that your stunt double steps in for the take. You know, it was very intricate. I had never done that kind of work before, so it was very exciting. And then there was the harness, because I fly, you know, so there was that too. It was just like so many layers. I feel like I'm talking your ear off, but you get the point.
No, this is great.
I love it.
Yeah.
Right?
So.
We're living your dream vicariously through you.
Yes.
Love it. And so, you know, there was a lot of moments where we were on that hilltop wondering, like, do we live here now? Like, is this my life now? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like you're there every day rehearsing this choreography. And at some point,
that was like a long scene that involved a lot of people too.
It did. And it was amazing to see the final result. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how much time it takes to create such an epic moment that lasts maybe 2 minutes. You know, it took us like 6 weeks.
I believe it. You know, I mean, Matt, Anna, because you've done theater a lot.
Yeah.
Very versed in musical, you know, your drag shows. My only experience, I've been an extra a couple of times in some films here in Sacramento, like nothing big, but even just those little parts, I was watching how we would have to redo the same scene like 6 times because of the angles of the different cameras, or maybe they didn't catch something the last time and they're trying to keep it, you know, all what's the word that they use so that you don't see the
continuity.
Thank you. The continuity. Wow. And I thought, oh my God, and I'm only an extra. Now I have like this little bit of what it's like to have lines and to be a lead or to be in in a supporting role. Where is every scene like this? Because no wonder movies take like a year to make. So that scene was so involved. And for you to say 6 weeks, I completely believe it.
Mm-hmm. It was a lot. You do theater? Of course you do theater, but I'm a theater baby as well. I love musical theater. That is where I fell in love with the stage. My teachers cast me as Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz musical one year. And that is the year that I realized I took everything way more seriously than every other kid in the class. Right. I was like, get your lines and hit your mark, and, you know. And I think it was from there that I was like, wait, I think there's something here for me, you know. So theater is like the home for so many performers.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I know you miss it for sure, Anna, because it's the whole year. That's what went down was
I know.
No live performances. I think only recently they just announced in New York that Broadway is coming back.
In September, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tickets are already on sale. People are so excited.
Right.
It just feels so good to finally kind of get back to things. They just announced here on the West Coast, there's a concert called Bottle Rock in Napa. And it's a huge 4-day excursion with all the big names you can think of. They even have Davies. What's her name? I can't believe they got her. But like Foo Fighters is on it, Guns N' Roses is on it, Meg the Stallion is on it. You know who else is on it? The Village People.
What? Okay.
I didn't know they were still alive.
Seriously.
There's got to be different people. You know, like the Harlem Globetrotters, how they just
they trade them out.
Or Menudo. It's like, no, we got new people.
Yeah.
It's like, are those the same ones? I don't think so, because that band came out in the 70s.
Seriously.
So they're gonna be performing. I'm like, what? You know, Chromeo, like all like so many different, and it's more than just concerts though. They have like spa day, or like the tents that have spa stuff. They have like culinary. It's like going to a state fair and a concert all in one.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, your cheapest tickets, and I don't know if they do single day, but like, or it's 3 days. I'm sorry, it's 3 days. So like your general admission starts at like $350 or $400, and then if you want the private little where it's up on the tier, whatever, it's like $1,300, and that's one person. I'm like, okay, but people will pay it. They've been starving for live entertainment for a year.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that doesn't happen until Labor Day weekend. And they already announced like the tickets and they don't tell you yet on which day. Stevie Nicks is headlining one night, Foo Fighters is headlining one night, and Guns N' Roses the other night.
Oh,
I was like, oh, Stevie Nicks is back. Yay. Yeah, because like 4 years ago it was Stevie Wonder. So they have such an eclectic like array of talent. It's amazing.
I like that.
Yeah. So as we go into Jupiter's Legacy, because Anna, I'll let you go first, since this was everything you wanted, I guess, in a indie style / comic come to life.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. I'm going to try not to geek out too hard, show my geeky colors, but number one, I did not even know this like was coming. So like when they announced, hey, guess what? Jupiter's Legacy is a thing. I was like, wait, what? And so then I was like, the majority of like people I talked to didn't really know much about Jupiter's Legacy. So I was like, let's sit down and let's discuss it. And like, so like I had to like brief like everybody in my circle on what this was about, what was going to happen. And like, while we were talking, they were like, did this happen in the comic books? Did this happen? Did this like, and so I was.
So these characters existed before this series.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
See, I didn't even know that.
But the thing is, like in the comic books, they focused more on the younger heroes as opposed to like the show, which seems to go more towards the origin. I mean, because it bounces back and forth between the past and the present with like the older generation. So I'm hoping season 2, we get a lot more of the younger heroes, because that's what I was vibing on. But I was way geeked out, like learning, like I knew how. I'm not going to say anything because you haven't seen all the episodes.
Oh my God! Don't sweat it.
You're in them, but you haven't seen all of them. No judgment, but I won't say. But I kind of knew what was going to happen towards the end. But yeah, I'm fully amped and booked and ready for a season 2, because this was like a lifelong childhood dream, because I read Jupiter's Legacy years ago.
Oh, so I just learned this about Anna. I did not know Anna was all into it. This is great.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a total Jupiter's Legacy fanboy girl / whatever you want to call me. I'm like here for it. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's totally like built for me, and I loved it.
So how true was it to the comics?
Well, like I said, many of the plot points are like spot on. There are like panels taken directly from the book and translated to screen. So like seeing things like that, it like makes my heart beat faster and makes me get the sweats, you know. But also like the way they are focused, at least on this season, they focused more on the older generation, whereas the book was like, it was majorly about the younger heroes and them coming up and them challenging the rule and the system. So
Right.
it was a shift that way, but like going back and forth between 1929 and present day,
Right.
like that was kind of a new thing to bring that to the forefront. But those were the only like major differences like I noticed, was just like the shift as to who was the major focus at this point in time anyway. So I'm hoping, because they did it that way, that means there's going to be multiple seasons, so we can get into
All
the
of it.
younger generation and how they're going to step up the hero game and change the way the game is played between the supervillains and the superheroes. So,
And that makes sense, because if you give
Yeah.
enough of a backstory, it'll, you know, it entices you to want to continue on with the seasons. Because when it
Exactly.
first started, I was like, what is this? It almost felt like a slow burn. But
Sure.
then by the third episode, I'm like, all right, I see where they're going with this.
Mhm.
right.
And of course, and this is the thing, the only reason I knew about it was because of AIZA. AIZA, you tagged yourself in something in your stories on Instagram and went, oh my God, my girl's in a superhero mutant kind of Avengers thing. I gotta
Right.
check it out. Like literally, you were the sole reason I even checked it out.
I'm so glad.
So
That's
thank you for that.
amazing.
And you know, and I was like, I'm waiting for you. I was, when's her scene? I think that's part of it too. I'm like, when's her scene? When's her scene? It's like I was just waiting for you to come on screen because I was all excited for you. And oh my gosh, you did so good.
Thank
You were
you.
convincing. I liked your role. I loved how strong the women roles were in general.
Yes.
And I loved the diversity in
Yes.
in gender and race and even just all of that. I thought that was very, very modern and inclusive, and it can everyone feels represented to a extent, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was good. That was good.
And even as an actor on set, it's refreshing because I don't always get to see that many different looking people from all, you know, different backgrounds. It's like it was really refreshing and fun to be there and be like, damn, we are all here right now. It's great.
Because you did have some scenes where there were multiple of you together recording, filming.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And so what was your experience like with what you filmed versus what you saw? I mean, you saw some of your scenes I don't really even remember in the 4 episodes. Okay. Do you feel like you brought what you thought you were bringing and what the director wanted?
Yes, absolutely. I do. I mean, there's always that part of me that's like, like if just one more take and I would have done it this way, you know? I don't think you can avoid it as an actor, but I really enjoyed the scene, and the scene in the club, especially with Chloe.
Yes.
I love that scene because it really shows what Sierra stands for. You know, no one was really calling Chloe out about her desire to stay away from the union and the fights, and she didn't even come to the funeral. And I'm like, someone's got to say something. And if Nick of Time didn't get in the way, I'm totally spoiling all kinds of things right now, but I'm like, if Nick of Time did not step in, Chloe would have caught these hands. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Do you want to catch his hands?
Like literally, like I'm there revving up. And that's what was so cool too, is that when we were filming the scene, because it's in slow-mo, I mean, I am going to share something on my Instagram page later this week, but literally I was hanging from this harness, moving so slowly towards Chloe, and everyone had to be frozen. You know, it was like, and action, and everyone was like, you know, not allowed to move. And meanwhile, when I look at the scene, it's like, it looks so quick and intense, and like I'm about to blast her with this ectoplasm. And so that was really fun to see, you know, like, because you're there and you're like, there's not much going on there. But then when they add the special effects and the sound and you see the buildup of the scene, it just made it was really cool to see the final result.
Oh.
And Sierra survived. You know, there are a lot of superheroes we lose them in that first battle. Right. But I'm like, Sierra's still alive.
Yes.
Sierra's still alive. Season two, let's go.
Yes. And you know what? That's a testament to the vision of the writer or director when they do them in these parts and it comes together and you're like, that's brilliant. I wouldn't have even thought to gone that direction to get that ending, that end result. That's cool. I can't wait for you to share that because I love all your little behind the scenes because I feel like I'm there.
Yeah, I love it. Sometimes I feel like I'll post some things and I'm like, is it too much? Like, are people getting sick of it? But
Nope.
I did a little poll and literally everyone was like, 100% of you were like, more BTS, please.
Yes, absolutely.
We live for that. We always, right? Anna, we always live for that. So then of all the people you worked with, just off the top of your head, who was one of your favorites to work with? On set.
Honestly, Josh Duhamel is really fun, easygoing. At the time when we were filming the show.
And he plays?
He plays the papa. Why am I forgetting his name right now?
Come on, Anna.
Please, Matt.
Why am I blanking? You're sending vibes my way.
I mean, he's the lead.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Sheldon, Utopian. Thank you. Like, what is wrong with me? It was really fun because at the time I was still doing, I make my music as well. So I was doing a lot of shows on the days that I wasn't filming. And he was like, you need to text me, send me the address of the show. I want to come check it out. On set, we cracked a lot of jokes together, like just overall very easygoing. Ben Daniels as well, super fun. I love Gracie. Everyone was honestly pretty solid. I feel like the energies were we were also excited to be there. So sometimes it could get a little chaotic because, we crack jokes upon jokes upon jokes upon jokes. And then it's just like, guys, we're here to work, so there's a bit of that. But it's always nice when you have that.
It's always amazing to see those blooper rolls because I tell you, okay, I have to share this again. So, and Anna's going to crack up because like I said, Anna and I have known each other since 97. So Anna was there when my daughter was 2. Yeah. My daughter's going to be 26. So I'm sitting here, it's like episode 3, I think. And she comes to sit down with me, to tell me something or whatever. And she watches maybe 10 minutes of it. And I think, what was her response? She goes, Mom, I don't know what you're watching, but this is highly stressful. And I realized it's the entire series is so stressful because there's so much. It's like the whole world is just weighing on the shoulders of this next generation. One of them who's so gung-ho, but doesn't seem to have, they're not taking it serious, the son, to have the strength. Then the daughter, who apparently is the badass, but she don't even care. And she's boozing and drugging and kind of like, it's like she has this own insecurity that she's hiding behind what she's doing. And the entire series is extremely stressful. So to know that you have these funny moments, that's great acting. None of y'all look like you're having a good time at all. You all are stressed. You've got things trying to kill you. You can't even trust the folks you're with. It's like,
Yeah, totally.
I mean, so tell us, Anna, is the entire comic stressful?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it goes on for books. Like, we have barely cracked the surface of Jupiter's Legacy. That's why I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see more.
Yeah. You know what? Thanks to these mini series and all the streaming, it's possible now. This kind of thing would not have been possible 10 years ago. So I think it's so great that stories like these have a chance to really give it all. They don't have to try to compress, 5 timelines of longtime characters into one movie. Now you can stretch this out in series and the mini series, right? Because anywhere from 6 to 9 episodes, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, and people love them and watch them. So it's like bring on the next batch.
Right.
So now that I know that it's lasting, I'm crossing fingers that you're in all the seasons, girl. Like all the seasons. But I will check it out because it did suck me in. I think by the 3rd one, I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a try. And then I just couldn't stop. I was like, oh man, the drama with the family. I'm like, and I know they got some cutthroats. These folks ain't even being honest. Like I could just tell, and then especially when they went back and explained how they got their powers.
Yeah.
And that whole, and it was a little cheesy, but it made sense. I mean, if I'm going to really like critique it, it's like, it felt a little cheesy, but it made sense that that's what they were testing. When you throw folks and they're forced, it's kind of like what happened with COVID. When we were all forced to quarantine and lock down, some of us could handle it and others lost their minds. You had people you had all the Karens and the Kevins like calling police and boxing folks over masks. Like,
oh my God.
You know, that wasn't really the reason. It was the tipping point for whatever it was that really got to them. And that's what I saw in those scenes when they were showing them going through the whole process of the higher beings testing them to see if they were going to be worthy to don these powers and do what they need to do with them. So I was like, okay. We're doing a little Justice League roundtable thing. I got you. Okay. So then tell me, how old is the series, Anna? When did they first come out?
I don't know when it first came out, but I read Jupiter's Legacy like, I want to say 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So at least probably 20 years.
I would think,
if not longer.
Like, because I don't know if I caught it when it first came out or when it was fresh out, but like, it's been out a while. So I'm glad.
Well, I'm glad they waited till now to do it because
I know, right?
Like when X-Men first came out, and that took 30 years.
Yeah,
I think, and even in the process of that, we weren't even thoroughly. Let's be honest. We weren't even thoroughly satisfied till Logan.
Right.
Because I got tired of seeing a man with adamantium claws killing nobody. I'm like,
right.
I've read those comics because the man I was with before I came out was way into those comics. And I even read, he collected, like, there was one that was Wolverine and Cyclops, or Wolverine and it was like the two off, and there were different artists that did the artwork. And so they did this very deep, dark dive in the characters, but they couldn't because they were marketing it to kids. Whereas with Jupiter's Legacy, because it's on Netflix, nope, we're going to keep it raw, real. This is how it is.
Yeah.
That was good. I'm glad they went that direction because I wouldn't want it to be sugar coated. I don't know. That's not, I mean,
Right.
So is there, oh, I'm trying to think, what, did you have any questions for AIZA about the show?
Anna? Oh gosh. No, I don't have questions so much as I just want to like fan geek over, like you were talking about the club scene when you were coming for Chloe, which was probably my favorite scene ever because I was like, she's going to kick Chloe's ass.
Yeah.
She's going to kick her so hard. Like, I was just like marveling, like, just to like fanboy geek over you for a minute. Like, I was marveling at those shots, like whether it was on the hillside or in the club, like just like your physicality and like your like posture and everything, especially in that slow motion scene. I was like, she is straight from the book. Like, it was like, oh, it's one of those moments where like someone like me who was like raised with this material and stuff like that, to see something like that and to see someone like you portraying this character the way you did, just like, it brings tears. Like, I don't want to geek out too hard, but it's just one of those, like, I never as a kid thought I would see this on screen, and then to see you doing it is just like, ugh, it was just too much.
Anna really gets emotional with these, like, no joke. That's why
I love you. Thank you.
That's why I'm always doing these reviews, because Anna is just so emotionally involved with these stories and these characters.
Yeah,
you know,
they mean a lot to me. Yeah, it really meant a lot to me too that you have survived, so that season 2 we will see more of you. Because
that's it. I feel, you know, that's one thing that I wasn't expecting that powerful of a response from my online tribe to just a bunch of new people who are following me now. And I didn't realize that Sierra had made such an impact until, you know, a little bit after the series dropped, and you know, #1 in the world for 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure. And it was just like, it's just been such a whirlwind, and it just keeps hitting me more and more how special a series it is, and how many fans around the world we have. And, you know, every little Black girl who watches the show. I have my Burundian community. I have people from Burundi who are writing to me saying, listen, I want to be an actor, and to see you on screen flying and kicking butts and getting your butt kicked and just like and rocking Bantu knots as well, which is
oh my God, I loved that.
Thank you.
When I saw those, I was like, whoa, this is like Black Panther true representation, yet in another Marvel style series. This is incredible.
Yeah,
I loved that.
Thank you.
That's that made you so strong.
It does. I feel really
like a warrior.
Powerful. Exactly. It just brings out that side of me, you know? And so, yeah, thank you so much, Matt. I really appreciate it. And I'm so glad that, that you loved it. And I'm really excited. I'm like, if y'all know the tea, you better bring Sierra back for season 2 now.
Exactly. Exactly. If
and
you know what's good for you.
Yeah. And I love that you brought up those that you inspired, because representation is so important. I mean, being half Filipino myself, I have such little, even on the Filipino end of it. I mean, because there's actors and actresses that are half, but they're playing Hispanic roles. They're playing more Asian roles, less of an islander. Well, I don't really think we like being called islanders, but it's just, I get it, you know, but I'm also half Caucasian on my mom's side. So my upbringing was predominantly white characters, white people playing characters, white people representing other. I'm like, why? So it's when this first came out and I saw the array of where it was just the characters were important. There wasn't the focus on the race or the gender. So they made sure they threw in all the representation to show, you know, you know, and I loved that. So immensely. It was such a great melting pot of, and then you can just get lost in the characters and not have to focus on that part of it.
That's it. And also I feel like when, like, that's what my world looks like. It just makes it more believable. You know, when you see people from all around the world, like I've rarely walked in a space and not seen so many different races, you know? So it just feels good. It feels right. And we want more of it.
Yes, we do. Because as much as I love Marvel. Yeah. Even, you know, it's like, and I still do, don't get me wrong. But when I look back on that, I thought they really could have done better. You know, I mean, and was it the one female character, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson? You see all the clips of where every time they did press, they always asked her about her costume and her diet. They never asked about the depth of her character. And I remember being really irritated that at the end, they had this whole big to-do about Tony Stark sacrificing himself and everyone's at his funeral, but no one did shit for Black Widow. I'm like, if it weren't for her, he wouldn't have even had all of the stones to do what he did. She sacrificed herself. And then even Hawk wanted to do it, but she knew better. She's like, I have nobody. You have kids and a wife. Like, and she made that sacrifice. And I thought the depth of her character. So knowing that now we have these series like this one, where it's like, yes, somebody is going to feel completely represented. Like, you're right though, AIZA, you probably have far more people seeing your character and just cut the cutouts and the digital and the dolls, and they might not even ever get a chance to tell you. But you've done that for them.
That's honestly,
you know?
that's a really big gift. It's such a gift, because when you work on a project, there's only so much you can understand about the scope of it until it starts reaching the masses, you know. And this is the first time that I've worked on a project of this magnitude, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. And that's what I love to do. I love to connect with people from all around the world. And it's just a gift for me. Like, it's a gift for me. Like, were you saying like you've done that for them? I'm like, no, it sounds weird, you know, like we're just vessels. And well, you didn't set out to do it. You were just being you doing it. That's why, that's the beauty of it. Yes, exactly. That's
you were just being you, and others honed in on it. And it was such a far cry, because you were on a different series in Canada. Working on. Yes. Which is such a different, that's a comedy satire, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a sitcom, you know, it's hilarious. It's a very different So I've been fortunate enough to work on so many different types of projects. You know, a lot of actors say that they're pigeonholed into certain parts, but when I look back, I'm like, I've done a variety of things, you know, and this being a superhero is one of them. Yes.
I tell you, I don't care what folks say. I don't care if they think that they're trying to be the thespian to get that Academy Award or get that Emmy or whatever. I'm like, until you played a superhero.
Right.
If I was ever given one chance to be in a movie, I'd be like, I want to be a superhero. I will diet, work me out with The Rock. Like, give me all the martial arts training from Jet Li. We are doing this thing.
Oh my God, I see it. I can see it.
Yeah.
I would take that over some dramatic role to get an Oscar any day.
And what would you want your superpower to be?
God, that's a good one because I already have the gift of healing. I already have a sort of almost a telekinesis, but I think, okay. So this is the deep dive for me because my daughter got me involved in Avatar, the original, the animation.
Yes.
Right? Airbender. Yeah.
Right.
Literally the best show ever.
Oh my gosh, those 3 seasons and the way it ended and the deep dive into that one. I wish I could ask her, but the character that learned how to Katara, where she learned how to manipulate blood inside of a person to physically control a person.
Blood bending. Yeah.
Yeah. So those kind of powers, it would be interesting to have, but to have it as how would you use that and stay as a good person? Because I just binged the Woo Warriors. So good.
Oh my God. Okay.
But true representation with Asian and martial arts. All the lead characters are actual martial artist stunt people. In fact, Mark Dacascos, he's Kajukenbo. His dad, I did a seminar with his dad like in the 90s. Like he's real deal. And so it was like, oh, and then I just watched The New Mutants. I thought that was really good, actually, that movie.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was really good. But when you see that, it's like those, what do you do with it when you have the power and you can manipulate, but you have the better sense and the control not to? So then what do you use it for? And where does your conscience lie? So for me, I would do that kind of a battle. I wouldn't want to be a bad guy. I would want a good guy, but struggling with how far do I push that envelope without all of a sudden being God?
Wow.
You know?
That is a deep dive.
I want that psychological struggle. So then that would be like Oscar worthy. But you know what? And because honestly, Jupiter's Legacy goes that route.
Yeah.
Because you have the father going, no, the code and the rules are in place because this keeps us in. Like he had really good lines to explain why, even though it seemed outdated. It's like we're keeping ourselves in check. Because as humans, given this power, and when you learn how they got the power. When so many died before them and they realized, wow, this was a lot to get this. I think we better do right by this. But then after a while, you just get drunk off that power.
Right.
Absolutely.
Whether you're doing bad to others or you're doing bad to yourself, like the daughter, she's just doing bad to herself.
Right.
She doesn't care. She knows she can push it because it would take a lot to kill her. She knows she can handle all the drugs and she knows she can handle whatever she wants to handle. She takes bullets and nothing freaking happens to her. She's like Superman. So that's why I'm glad this is a series and I'm waiting for them. I'm sure the second series, I'm hoping will have more of that internal struggle. Because that's really what it comes down to. That's why I love the mutants, right, Matt? We love the mutants because the X-Men, that's the real deal in the comics with that is that internal struggle with being different.
Right.
People judging you, trying to make laws against you, hunting you down.
Yeah.
Your own family doesn't know what to do with you.
Right.
As you don't even know what it is you've got going inside of you.
Exactly.
So.
Oh my God.
Okay, so remind us. Oh, go ahead.
One last question. Anaconda, I'm curious for you. What would your superpower be if you could pick one?
You know, I have such like a deep connection to Mystique. Comic book Mystique, though. Like it tears me apart, like in the later X-Men movies, that Mystique was walking around in her human form. Mystique never would have done that, because Mystique was like, I'm blue. I am different. I can be anything I want to be, and I am being myself. So to have both the inner and outer power of Mystique, I think would be mine.
Ooh,
because
she's pretty badass.
Unapologetically mutant. Yeah, she's like.
It's true.
Yeah,
the earlier ones.
She is so hot.
That too. Who was the first one that played her?
Rebecca Romaine.
Yes. Well, because when she plays her, she's doing it. Remember that scene with what's his face? And he goes, "Why don't you hide?" She goes, "Because we shouldn't have to."
We shouldn't have to. Yeah.
But then once they put Jennifer Lawrence, because she's the younger version,
right?
It was like, let's do Jennifer Lawrence because she's famous off of the freaking
Hunger Games. Yeah.
You know, but we're going to keep her looking more human because they want to see the actress. That's my take on it. And that was stupid. Right. You're right. She should be. That's why everyone looked up to her, because she was unapologetically herself, and she would manipulate when she felt like it.
Exactly.
Like it was like she was bad, or she wasn't really good or evil. She just was.
She just was. That's right.
You know, sometimes when she did something, it did for the side of the good. And sometimes when she did something, it wasn't so good. And she did not care.
Exactly.
Love it.
So I see that in you. I do, Matt. I see that in you. Okay. So other two, we used to be roommates too, AIZA. So it's like, we've worked together. Yeah. We've lived together. Yeah. So we've been each other's support system for like 147 years.
Pretty much.
That's so beautiful. That's so
I see that. I see Mystique in you. You should be Mystique. Oh my God. If you could do the makeup, you should be Mystique next time on your horror. Do you like a Mystique horror version?
I would love to do that. Yeah.
You know, where she something happened to her, and so she can't fully morph.
Oh, just like part Mystique. Yeah. That could be cool. Yeah. I could do that. And
you can explain the story behind why she can't. So I'm waiting for that one. Unfortunately, now that I got my new job and I go to bed at 8, like I'll be going to bed like an hour after we're done here, because I wake up at 3 a.m.
Oh my God.
I wake up at 3 a.m. for work. So I appreciate you doing this so late, because I know it's late for you. It's what, almost 10?
Oh, it's okay. It's all
really?
Good.
Are you
a late
treat. Person?
You know what? Less and less. Like by 11, it's good. 10 is still good. 11, I'm starting to like fade, you know? So this has been perfect.
Before we go, can I ask where I can hear your music?
Yes, you can hear it on Bandcamp at aiza.bandcamp.com. You can hear me on Spotify. AIZA, that's my handle on Instagram. Let's stay in touch, because I'm definitely going to tune in for one of your reviews, your horror reviews. I'm a bit of a baby when it comes to horror, so hopefully you will guide me through it.
I'll go easy on you.
Good, amazing.
aiza.bandcamp.com. Yes.
Nice.
And she's always on her Insta. So that's the best place to follow her. Because was it your sister, your cousin, or just your friend? You used to do the your little Monday or Tuesday little lives.
So that was DNA Unscripted. It was with my sister at the beginning of the pandemic. We decided to start going live, and now it's evolved, and I'm diving into producing. Instagram has done a lot. It's done a lot. Yeah. So thank you. It's very exciting times.
And what do you have coming out music wise, or do you like? Now
I do. So I'm just working on new music right now, and I can't wait to start sharing, but I am not rushing it, because once I start rolling things out, I just want to be ready for it and not fly by the seat of my pants like I did in the past. Like you drop a single and then you're like, okay, next one. And you don't have time to really enjoy, the fruits of your labor. So I'm taking my time with it, but I can guarantee that it'll be worth your while.
Always. Nice. Your stuff is always solid. Do you find, and then last question, do you, now that you're doing, it seems like it's starting to pick up your acting. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be hard or a struggle to find that balance between downtime, relaxing, music, and film? Or will you find a way to cross engineer it all, and when you're doing recordings for the movies you're in or the TV shows,
I feel like it I've been dancing the tango with those two for so long that now I'm just going with the flow. I make space for all of it, and I've learned early in the game that nothing is worth my well-being. So I always make sure to put some time aside to take care of myself. If I need to tell my agent, don't call me for 3 weeks, she does that. We have an understanding. Same goes for my music. If I'm like, can't do this right now, I need to go for a walk, or like I need to meditate, I'll do that, you know, because it's only when you're aligned that you can show up at your best. So it's definitely cross engineering. I'm pretty good at it.
Good for you.
Thank you.
I am so excited for you. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Know? And thank you for taking time, you know, to be on the show. You too, Matt. I know schedules are just so, God, COVID really kind of did a number on all of us when it came to priority and scheduling, didn't it?
Oh my God. Yeah.
So perfect. This will save on, you know, YouTube and Facebook for those that end up missing out. Cause I know I missed it. Like, here's the link. And then keep us. Yeah. I'm going to be following you. Obviously, Matt, follow her on her IG because she's going to be releasing those little BTS.
Yes. I'm going to cyber stalk you.
That's all about the BTS.
Love it.
So perfect. So any last things you want to say, you, Matt, or AIZA, before we close this out tonight?
I just want to thank you both for having me here. I'm in such heaven right now. So I appreciate so much for allowing me to be part of this. It really means a lot to this geek.
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel the exact same way. This has been so much fun, and I'm down to do this again. Let me know when.
Yes.
Season 2, let's do it.
Season 2. Yeah, anything you want to reveal. You know, you want to come back and let us know about your music too. That'll work too.
Yeah, please.
Sounds great.
Bam. All righty. Well, thank you everyone for hopping in. This is Myki Angeline with the Bad Filipino. And remember, every day that you wake up, you determine how your day will go. So let us all do our best to manifest an exciting 2021.